We are analyzing together NIO. Look at that. We have a double breakout, Enrique. What happened right there?
Very interesting. Let's talk about it. Also, the fundamental side, as usual. First of all, remember to read the disclaimer right here and also in the description below. What an interesting pattern that we had right there. This could be called like a double top. Also, you can clearly see the two rejections right there, almost at the same price. And then it's interesting that we had this small breakout right here, false one, and then this double breakout of this parallel channel right here. If you followed this pattern, this could be called a false breakout. If you didn't, this is just a normal movement to the upper part that got rejected. But what do you think about it, guys? And the interesting thing is like we have the double top with the lowest part and being broken out just right now, minus 2% today. Will this movement continue to the lower part and maybe revisit the lowest levels of this parallel channel or the previous supports around $4? Or will we see the price continuing going higher and maybe breaking those levels, but not as a false breakout, but with a full breakout this time? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Wow, very interesting, Neo.
Yeah, also let's pay attention to what happened back in the Hong Kong exchange, because obviously look at that, it's going down again, and this stock NIO, as many other Chinese stocks, are suffering this incredible downtrend that started back in May 2024. Even though if we go even to the weekly chart, you can clearly see that the index is like, it started to go down back in February 2021 till today. And wow, we were talking about, this is an index, guys, and this index is in minus, let's see, minus 43%. I mean, that's huge.
And we also have like the Dow Jones and Nasdaq falling down. The stocks go the market was completely red yesterday and yeah, during the end of this week. So maybe that's also related when you see like the market has that fear. Normally the stocks tend to continue in that trend and maybe they correct later, or that could be a reason. The breakouts were happening but the general market was starting to go lower and the breakouts couldn't go farther from these levels. Very interesting in my opinion when you see these types of movements, because they indicate like the market is trying to go higher, because if not they would not be able to break those levels that are very strong. But at the same time, this is indicating that the bearish strength or their resistance is also there, because they continue, they can do that breakout, but then the price gets back into the previous levels. It's interesting to analyze that with a more close detail.
Yeah, they're pushing the Chinese market to the downside. At this particular point, you cannot fight very straight. I mean, at this incredible pressure, we're talking about like a minus 44 in an index. And when they finish, that will be the perfect moment to buy NIO in that sense. As long as the net income also improves. If we take a look at net income, I always love that indicator, because we have, you can analyze the revenue, you can analyze the EBITDA, but the perfect indicator is net income. Does it make money out of the business or not? This is the reality, and the reality is still not good. It's been like more than a year, and actually, yeah, a year and a half in more than minus 700,000 million, 700 million. I mean, that's a huge number.
So let's see the forecast. What do we have right there? 27 analysts offering 1 year price forecast for NIO. Very interesting. The average plus 54.54%, round number right there. Then we have the maximum 180% to the upside and the minimum minus 10%. Then the analyst rating stating a buy. Also, what do you think about it, guys? Do you agree with this forecast or not, and the reasons for that? And then we have the quarterly forecast and the annual forecast for the EPS also. And we think it's interesting to have that into account, because according to this data, they expect better results each year.
Yeah, and actually, at this particular point, obviously, it's gonna take a while. I mean, if we have the estimate in mind, look at that. We are minus 29, 0.29, minus 0.28. I mean, very similar losses every time, a little bit better. And the problem with that is like, maybe you are right, maybe NIO is gonna enter into profits in the future. But look at that. Based on the estimates, we are talking about that it's gonna enter into profits, yeah, in 2028.
Yeah, you have to take that into account. Also, as usual, this is just another indicator that you can follow. So if you have different data, let us know in the comments below, or different sources for that. And it's interesting with the NEO market. The EV market is a very competitive one. We analyzed other stocks in this sector, and you tend to expect like when there is hype around these stocks, the movements are more volatile. But I think like the hype around this sector is less, and maybe this is something good, because at the end of the day, investors will go to the stocks or the companies that are really investing into the market and are creating, solutions, and are are providing effective strategies, because and maybe that's something related with the income of the companies. If they don't make it, it's because of that, in a sense, so maybe we don't see that hype, but this could be something good for this EV market. What do you think, guys? Do you think like the hype is good for this type of companies, or is bad?
Yeah. This particular point, I gotta tell you, Enrique, that like the hype was back in 2021, 2020. Then it started to go down, similar with the renewable energy. Like everything started to go back because of the high interest rates. Even though this stock is a Chinese stock, is not that affected, in comparison to the US market. But obviously, the trend is the trend, and all EV stocks are going down all that are only focused on EVs. I mean, we have other brands such as Mercedes-Benz and other brands that are performing well. Maybe not at its best moment, but they are performing better than EV companies. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so let's go to the monthly chart to see with more detail the long time picture, the wider perspective. Let me erase this very fast so we can see with more detail the price action with very clear. And it's interesting that we are at a very a key moment in the market, because we could say like we are a little bit below the middle of this movement to the downside that started during 2021. You can see right there the highest point of $67 more or less, and from there the price entered into this downside movement of more than 90% to current levels. So is this a good opportunity to enter into NIO, guys? What do you think? Or maybe you expect like the price will continue going lower because there is price below it. We are not making new lows and not near those, because the lowest price that we have in this chart is more or less 1.20, and then we have clear supports also around the levels of $2, $3, and very interesting price action around it. But the thing is, like, all this upside that started during 2020 and continued until the end of 2000, at the start of 2021, this clear uptrend right here with all these green candles, 8 consecutive months
That
in
was
green.
crazy.
This is insane. And from there, the opposite happened. Not as fast. It was like happening. Let's see the period, more than, yeah, for 3 years more or less, I think. And from there we have this opportunity, or maybe the continuance of the crash. Let us know below.
Thank you very much, guys. See you in the next video, and have a nice weekend.
Thank you very much, really appreciate it.